Hi, welcome to the Flat Truth. Really excited to bring you some new info on Southern Stars and Polaris, and the amazing new info that I've come across, which really points towards geocentric proof and seems to show there's no way we can be a heliocentric universe. So in the last video we looked at the skyline in Rotorua. We see the Southern Cross at the bottom. There was a star trail going around pointing towards south, and I backed it up with a picture from a bird's eye view. So to double check on this, I looked out my own window and I've taken a picture here of the Southern Cross. Now I live about 38 degrees latitude south, looking at the Southern Cross here, and that's where it should be according to all the guides. We looked at it here at 10:37 at night. Roughly 4 hours later, the picture is taken again. It has moved anti-clockwise and is now pointing down further. Now if I put together the rotation, this is what we're looking at. So yeah, in about 4 hours we've seen the rotation that we would see within that time frame to make it right around in a whole day. And to make it a bit more accurate, I've put on the bottom right there a line where those pointer stars are, to show the in case there's some camera movement when I took the photo. So this does point to the fact, guys, that there is a Southern Star Trail. I had a compass. I did line it up to true north, and it all lines up. There is a Southern Star Trail that seems to rotate around the area of what we know of as Antarctica, and I can see it at the right spot from my position in New Zealand. Now, I looked into this a lot further, and you wouldn't believe what I found. Now, if you're standing at 45 degrees latitude on the Earth, you look up at either the South Celestial Pole or Polaris, you will see a 45 degree from where you're standing, from the horizon. So I've mapped this here on the paper, and using some pretty good software I'm able to do a fairly accurate account of what this would look like. So on the top left I've got the Earth. I've got a 45 degree angle from the horizon coming out of the view on either side of the Earth until they meet at their furthest point. Now I'll put these little square boxes there just to show that, you know, everything is squared and very accurate. Now according to this, Polaris sits about 35 Earth diameters away from Earth, or 445,000 kilometers away. Now this is what we see with our eyes. If there's one person on the eastern side of the Earth looking at Polaris at a 45 degree angle from a 45 degree latitude, and another person on the western side or the other side of the Earth looking at Polaris at a 45 degree latitude, they're going to see it at about 445,000 kilometers away, roughly. When I looked at this, I thought, oh, that's interesting. Now they tell us that the moon is about 384,000 kilometers away, but they tell us that Polaris is 420 light years from the Earth, which is some astronomical amount of miles that we can read down the bottom left. How can this be? Now we can see that the lines intersect and start leaving each other. So if we're both these people are looking at 45 degrees, they're looking at different stars. Something is not right. If Polaris is as far out as NASA and all these other scientists tell us, it's not where they say it is. Have I got something wrong? Please look into this. But I've double checked, I've looked into it, and this really does appear to be right. As long as the Earth is geocentric, Polaris sits at about this distance away from the Earth. The reason they can't have it here, if it's a heliocentric model, is because when the Earth moves from one side of the rotation of the Sun to the other in 6 months, the view of Polaris would be in a completely different spot if it was this close to the Earth. So they need an astronomically big figure so that there's no movement of Polaris when the Earth supposedly moves from one side of the Sun to the other. Now let's look at another picture I've got here. I've looked at an 80-degree latitude. Now if you're at 80 degrees latitude, which is the light blue in the picture, you'll see the celestial South Pole or Polaris at 10 degrees from the horizon. So I plotted this on my picture. It intersects at the same place as the 45 degree and backs up the fact that Polaris can sit in a geocentric model at about 445,000 kilometers away. Now again, you can see the spreading of the lines as you go further away from Polaris. So if Polaris was even 2-3 times the distance away from my figure, it will be nowhere near the angle that a person on either side of the globe at the same latitude is looking at it. The math is not working according to what I'm looking at here. Maybe you're much smarter than me and can see something that I'm doing wrong. Please look into this. It is worth it. Now, when science astronomers that have come up with the theories that we know of, the heliocentric models, are looking at distance of stars, they look at all sorts of crazy long distance things to do with these little arcs of parallax, which you just can't even find them. They're just so small, if they're even there at all, when you consider light refraction and all the other variables. How can you possibly find such small movement? And they come up with a figure to show how far away something is. But when you look at something so simple as this, how can something be so far away? Right, thank you for looking into this. One thing we know is that NASA has lied for a long time. Heliocentric scientists have lied for a long time, and we still don't know the proper shape of the Earth, the model that the Earth should be. We don't know. So flat, round, oval, the models are not correct. So let's keep looking at this stuff. Thank you.